Hey everyone, this is episode 51 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is OSG. The O in OSG right now stands for a 0 goal scored this weekend, since we're coming off two fresh losses from the Dynamo and Dash. And as we're recording this episode, we're currently watching the Dynamo 2 game, which is playing right behind me if you're watching on video. Uh, but yeah, how's it going, OSG?
To your friggin' joke. Jesus Christ. I know 1-0, 1-0, and currently 1-0 as we're watching we're 3 minutes into the second half of Dose currently. So yeah, dude, this is just getting annoying, these scores, and I don't want to do a repeat weekend where we have three losses or no points. I think we had 1 point last weekend. Come on, man. What's going on with Hustletown, bro? But
Like honestly, I'm yeah. I've been watching the game, and I feel like the Dynamo 2 game got me in a worse mood than before I started watching the game because I felt terrible just watching the Dash, and the Dynamo had some expectations based on the lineup, which I can get into
right.
when we talk about that. But well, yeah, Dynamo 2 they had a lot of opportunities to get on the board first, but they just conceded the first goal in the first half. So
A little weak
it's
goal too.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty weak, and we just kind of fell asleep in the back line when the long ball was sent through. But yeah, with that, there's a couple things we can talk about for sure. We're definitely gonna go through the Dash and Dynamo games and Dynamo 2 as far as we can get to that.
But
But yeah, hopefully it should be a
But
yeah.
first, I made the mistake of not really coming out of retirement. So I guess you can call out coming out of retirement. It's been 4 or 5 years now since I've refereed a game, and I decided to go out this weekend and do a tournament that was at the local park, Round Rock Sportsplex over here.
Nice.
Reminded me how much I hated it. And I'm a good ref, or I like to think I'm a good ref, but Jesus Christ, just the parents, the players, just getting out of
Yep.
control. Just every single one of them being a referee, the complaining, just makes me hate it so much. And when I said I would do this one this weekend, I said I would do this was just a regular local tournament, but in 4 weeks they're doing the regionals at the same place. And when I said I'd do this, I was like, yeah, I'll do that one too. And I'm like, kind of wishing I didn't commit myself to that. Obviously, I could still get out of it, but I'm gonna stick to it just because the people that I was working for take care of me. But man, I hate it so much. So reminds me to stay friggin' retired as a referee. And I'm not a pro referee, so I'm not under that representation. But referees, man, Jesus Christ, yeah. Otherwise, it was an okay tournament, but I think it was the high school boys division that was just Jesus. They're finding out what testosterone is, and they're using it to. I ended a championship game early because I kicked the kid out of the game, and I didn't show him a red card. I told him to get off my field, and then I went and told the coach that he's done. Because if I would have gave a red card, they would have had to play. It's a 3v3 tournament, by the way. They would have had to play down the man. I was like, oh, no, it's championship. I just told him get off the field. And told the coach don't play him again. So as he's sitting on the sideline, they don't make him leave the field or nothing like that. As he's on the sideline, he's continuously talking his crap to the player. Meet me in the parking lot, do this and do that, and then using curse words as well at the same time. So I blew the whistle and just said, this game's over. Ridiculous. Y'all get out of here. Get out. Just get off get out of the complex. Then they walk back to their tents. Their tents are side by side. I was like, okay, I've watched. I've stood enough around them. They're going back to the tents. They're too close together. I'm out of here. I'm not. I don't care. Whatever happens, uh, police are right there if they're needed. So let them deal with it. Off my friggin' field. That was like the next to last game of the day. So kind of that's why it's sitting because Jesus Christ, bro. But forget referees. We hate them.
No, yeah, no, yeah. Like officiating is very difficult, especially when like at the local level, like like parents and players like really underestimate how difficult it is to like be on the field and catch like the plays or recognize what the situation, because they just see it on TV and they're just like, oh, this is so easy. I mean, there's like a crowd of like 80,000 people yelling at you, like especially like the players on the field, the coaching staff, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that kind of pressure, like it's different when it comes to the local level, but at the same time, you still have like a big crowd just judging you or or questioning your judgment like based on a call, and it's difficult for sure. And like the bad thing is that we need like referees obviously to play the game, and and just the fact that these type of situations that you just mentioned, like it keeps happening, like it's disheartening only because that's just going to drive away like potential referees into that position. And like it's just it sucks really because we need referees,
or
and
good
I don't, a lot of people don't respect them.
or good referees. You run them away. And
Yeah.
it's always a coach or a parent that always has to have the last word in, and they just keep going. You go warn them, but they still have some more to say. And I asked one, or it was a parent this time. I asked the parent, and said, "Hey, where do you work?" So we went, "Oh," I was like, "Well, I'm gonna show up on Monday, and I'm gonna be in your ear. I'm gonna find, do you get what I'm saying? Like, and there's just nothing you can do. You just as a referee, you just have to end up walking away because they get the last word, and you're trying to prevent people from being removed from the game at the same time. But whatever. I hate it. It sucks. But uh, I don't know. You can see I'm wearing my Dash jersey this weekend. I wore it last night for the two games since Dash played first, and then I just left it on for Dynamo. But see that number on the back right there? I don't know if you know whose number that is for the Dash.
23.
Yeah, you know whose number that is?
Isn't that Salmons or Salmons 9, right?
Simmons 9. Yeah, come on, man.
Gotcha.
I hype her up every week, even if she's not in the starting lineup. It's Price Sox, man,
Oh
man,
yeah.
man. It's Price Sox. So just happened to be, they had the auction for the Dynamo and the Dash jerseys ended over the weekend or ended before the weekend, and I ended up getting the Ali Price Sox jersey, and signed Pride jersey number 23. I even posted it on Twitter, and I wasn't expecting her to say anything, but she did like the tweet, so she saw it. She knows. I put up a good picture of
Nice.
her in dough.
I'm extremely jealous. Oh wait, I'm.
Yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
that was so close. Was that handball? They're calling for handball.
They're
I didn't
calling. They're
see.
calling for it, but there's no VAR. So, well,
Yeah.
this works out since you got to turn around every time I react. Still have time to see it with your little 2 second delay. All right, so it works out.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
It
yellow.
works for sure.
Finally, yellow for the
But yeah,
freaking Tacoma.
I was about to say that I'm jealous of you because you had a successful uh, Pride event campaign to like to bet on game war stuff, because I did it for the Dynamo. I was betting for, or yeah, I was going for the Abasi jersey that he wore for that game, and and I was about to win, but like I think like the day before I got into like a bidding war against someone else, and the bid reached $300, and I had to stop because like my max was just like 280, and then they got it to like 300, so I was upset, and I didn't get the jersey unfortunately, so like it sucks.
Yeah, when you told me
But oh
that, I
well.
tried to lean you towards Barb because she only finished at 240. You should have went for it and got that Venezuelan signed jersey. She's might be up and coming, but yeah, I didn't get no bidding war when it first came out. I got it up to someone did bid twice, so I had to bid twice. Got it to 260, and then it stuck at 260 for 3 weeks. And I was surprised that nobody bid on it the last day or final minutes. And I was watching it in the final minutes just in case I got outbid and I was going to move on to somebody else. There were a couple of people that got no bids. There was a couple that got 200. So 200 was the minimum bid. So like we're going to pay for them, but I'm fine paying for it. It's a signed jersey. I got pride for my team. So this one I will not let go to waste. It's going to get framed. I will hang it. I'm not wearing it. It's signed. So hopefully she signed it on the back next to her name and number. But whatever. I'll take what I can get. But I swear to God, I will not be wearing it, especially when I got the dash and number 23 already. But it's got my name on the back, so I guess I'm her biggest fan. That's what we'll call myself. But I think I segue for you.
No, yeah, that's a big one, but we'll take it just to like put more stuff into the episode. But But yeah, in any case, there's we can start with the dash for sure because there's been a couple things that happened uh, last week. Obviously, not just the game on the road against North Carolina Courage, but also the big news from like the team side. We finally got a signing from the dash, and this is a big one because they recently signed Brazilian international midfielder Andressa Alves. She will be joining the team very soon. She won't be for like the next couple months, only because she's going to be representing Brazil in the Women's World Cup coming up in a few weeks. And I'm excited because she's coming off fresh of winning the Serie A title with Roma, the women's side, and it's just crazy. Like we needed this type of playmaker with experience, and hopefully this is something that can sort us out. She was signed through the 2024 season with an option for 2025, and pending the international certificate. So and that's usually just pretty quick, but yeah, I'm excited for this one only because we're lacking a lot of experience, especially in the middle of the park, and just a matter of having that wisdom like on the field, trying to dictate the plays. Like it's something that we needed.
Well, and hopefully, she's just at the World Cup for Brazil, and then August 19th is our first game back. Is the first game back for teams that or players that went to the World Cup because obviously we're still going to have a uh, Challenge Cup while teams are at the World Cup. So this is technically next weekend's our last NWSL game. Then the World Cup starts, and we play three Challenge Cup games, and then if there's playoffs or blah 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 whatever. So hopefully 19th, unless she takes a break after the World Cup before she comes over. But I definitely at the end of the season expect her to be. That's her going to be her opening days, the August 19th. I'm happy to see her. I hope she comes in. She's in a position of need, so I don't know if she's going to play that holding mid or she's going to play that attacking mid. You never know what the heck's Lady's going to do. The more we get into this season, what he's going to do with his players. But she's definitely a very good player, very very good, talented. Reminds me of a lot of Maria as far as vision and crossing and just the way she shoots. She's left footed, so now they're both going to be fighting on free kicks and corner kicks. So, but I'm okay with it because they're both on target. She's not afraid to shoot, so you know, it'll be interesting to see what Lady does. But I mean, let's get into the game before I start ranting about Lady.
Yeah, just save it, but we're there right now. But yeah, so the Andressa news that came in over the week, and of course this weekend, the Dash went to North Carolina Courage, and they lost 1-0. And I was I was pretty concerned after the result because I was expecting more from this team, especially with the lineup. But I felt like after looking at it, like they put in a lot of more numbers forward. Like that just told me like they were going to at least press forward, or at least get like a couple goals in, and then like save back. But yeah, it's just annoying because I see LOC and Diana Ordonez and Bombi just up top, and and I was also thinking maybe a Bombi as a fullback already. They had like that type of opportunity to just be involved up top and just go back, kind of like that Dasco is in the other flank. But yeah, they only had one shot on goal the entire game, and if I recall correctly, they had like 11 shots, and
Correct.
it's depressing because we're getting up top, but we're not getting like those clear opportunities to get on the score line, obviously, and it sucks. And I was really upset about this game, really.
Dude, it's just we're so good defensively. Now, of course, the pretext of this game is number one defense versus North Carolina's number two defense. They've only given up one more goal than us this season. Now we've given up the same amount of goals, 11, 13, 14 games in, 14 games in, I think it is, and given up 11 goals for the season. But we hadn't even scored that many on the offensive side. And, it looked like it. So we knew this was going to be a defensive battle. We were hoping Dash could score. It's on the road. They play well on the road. It's North Carolina. That's the friggin' game that got canceled with 30 minutes to go in the game back in Houston. So that's the one that uh, Dash needed to get some revenge. And it's that just that lack of the team attack. it is not working at all. Obviously, the defense is doing their job. They're keeping everybody out. They did give up the one goal. Whatever. It was a good goal, but we can't score. And here we are not scoring again. How many games? I mean, what is it in a row? 4 games in a row. We haven't scored a freaking goal, bro. 4 games in a row. It's getting absurd. Lady needs to change something. Needs to change something. I don't know if it's his tactics. It has to be his tactics because you have the what's in your hand. You have the players on the field. Obviously, Sophie Smith is gone, so she's going to Canada. But for some reason Nigeria doesn't have a camp for the World Cup, so that's why Alozi was still with us. Chapman was gone too. That's why Peterson got the start at left back. Vigiano started in Smith's place, but then you used Hurst and you used Anderson again, and then of course you had Alozi, Ordonez, and Salmon up top. And then 20 minutes into the game, Sophie hurt herself. Looked like a growing pool. So hopefully, she's not going to be out for too long because I guess we do need her since there's nobody else. But Barb got to come in and show some skill off, and she's got some potential. So hopefully, Lady sees that and gives her more of an opportunity. But man, I need Sanchez to stay really high, really up high. It's like we're playing this 3-6-1. I don't know what the heck we're playing. Dude, Didasco's a beast. I love the way she's playing, and she doesn't make mistakes. She doesn't get beat. She's getting into the attack. But where are the goals going to come from, especially when you have the players on the field? And again, Salmon not being used until the end of the second half again. I don't know what you do. You're gonna have to try something different. You have to try something different. Ordonez scored 11 last year. I think she scored two so far this year. Do something different. I don't care if Salmon's on her way out the door, if that's the case or whatever. Use her to her advantage, and we're not utilizing the players. In my opinion, I just think some things they have to change. They have to change. We can't continue this. We have no hope. We're sitting in seventh place. We're out of playoffs. We lost. We didn't even gain points. So what are we supposed to do here? Come on, we have to change something. Lady needs to change it now, and I just don't know what it is. And he's going to have to. In his 3-4-3 or whatever you want to call his formation that he's using, I think it's more 3-6-1 because he's not letting his wingers wing out. Alozi has to do some extra work just to wing out. So she's not being able to make runs, beating the defenders. They got a player, and she's got to run onto the ball. So it's I don't know, man. I don't know. I could rant all day about Lady and the tactics, but again, it's just my opinion. He's the head coach. I'm just the guy behind the camera right now. But it's just annoying, bro. You see something's got to be done, right? I mean, I don't know. How are you feeling?
No, I mean, you made a pretty good point when it comes to not scoring a single goal in the last 4 games, and that's just a matter of consistency. Obviously, there's an issue there, and it's just a matter of somebody adjusting the tactic now. And obviously, it's his job to find the optimal position for each of his players for them to succeed. Pretty much, I said I'm obviously to succeed, obviously, and it sucks really because we've seen this team like score a lot of goals early this season, and like the fact that they haven't been able to like in the last 4, given that like three of those games were on the road, and like this team is pretty good on the road, and even still at home, like it's they can do better, and it's just upsetting because like we have all this talent, like not to mention Salmon on the bench, which hasn't been utilized a lot as a starter, and it's just disappointing. This form right now. Obviously, things can change, especially when it comes to that the World Cup and the players have to be replaced, especially like if the teams go through to the next round of that World Cup, and it's a good opportunity for Sam Lady to like switch things around, especially the way how things look in the league play, and obviously if they want to make a solid run in the Challenge Cup because they have a lot of opportunities to make an impression there now, but it sucks really because uh no like it's seriously concerning, especially like how Sam Lady just does things.
Well, he's not rotating players either. It's the same starting lineup every week, and the only reason you might see a different name in there is because I've lost count of how many red cards that Hustletown has had in a row now. So, like this weekend was this Houston. Last 2 weekends was Dash, and I think the weekend before that was Houston again, Dynamo again. I'm like, somebody keeps getting reds, but it's effective. So, but Lady's not making lineup changes at all. Like right, even Ryan Gary's. I don't think she started a game this year. If maybe she started one, and we saw her potential last year. You saw Salmon what she did last year. She's not even making the roster. You got Peterson, who is a rookie, starting at left back. She's showing up in practice maybe, but like you could utilize Gary's back there at left wing back, especially since you're trying to play this 3-4-3 where you're pushing your fullbacks up, like the Dasco just goes up friggin' 100 miles. Gary's could do the same thing, and she's got the energy and the legs to get back. I don't know, use her. Salmon, Adornias don't have to start every single game if she's not going to put goals behind in the net. Let Salmon get a start and Ordonez come off the bench. I don't know what to say right there. I don't want to bench Ordonez. You know I'd rather find a way to do it. Like I'd like to say start Salmon at striker and put Ordonez as the cam, and Anderson can go to the bench. I think that would be a nice difference, a striker forward type mentality right there in the midfield. Those two working together. Salmon with her speed breaking open those defenders, and Ordonez following right behind, and she'll be wide heck open, or the ball going down to the wings, and Salmon again with her speed, defenders will have to follow, and Ordonez comes back into the box following up, like kind of like I said at the beginning of the season when we tried to predict our lineups, and that was just the way I wanted to see it. Just again, my opinion, but I'm starting to think my opinion's right the way this attack is going, bro. So it's just ladies got to do something now. Granted, I didn't have an opportunity to go see what Lady in the press conference was after the game to see what his actually opinion was of the game and what he had to say. So I'm kind of passing judgment without hearing what his opinion was this time. But something has to change, and something needs to change now because we're in that back half of the season. Granted, you said I think we have one game left before World Cup, and then we're going to play 3 games in a row for Challenge Cup, and we're 0-3 in Challenge Cup. So I kind of who cares what we do in these 3 games? I think you just play the players that need some playing time, and you win or you lose in the Challenge Cup. Who cares? And then if we don't make it out of the group, then we get a little bit of a break. That's fine. Take the break, get some players some rested, work on it because what is it? It would be a 2 week break if we don't make it out of Cup because August 5th is the last Challenge Cup game, and then August 19th is when we come back and play Washington. So that give us 2 weeks. That'd be probably some much needed rest. Lady plays with the players that he plays with in the 3 Challenge Cup games, and then makes a decision on what's he going to do on the 19th, especially with Alves coming into the situation as well. Now, granted, she's not going to start her first game for the Dash. She'll come off the bench or whatever, but got to figure something out, bro. Got to figure it out right now, Sam. Lady, if you're listening, I'm not lady out. Let's make that clear. You gotta make an adjustment right now, though. Now, like I said, you may be doing this behind the scenes. I don't know, but it doesn't show in the field. So that's why we're here doing this, and let's see a difference, bro.
Yep. Um, yeah, the next game, obviously, you mentioned it, they're going to have one more game before the World Cup starts, and that's this upcoming Friday against the Red Stars. And they've had a pretty good time, especially facing against Chicago in both league play and Challenge Cup, like for the most part. But yeah, it's gonna be an important game, especially heading out of the season into the World Cup.
And we're 2-0 against Chicago this season. We beat them in Chicago 2-1 during regular season, and then our only win in Challenge Cup was 2-0 at home, a 2-0 win at home. So it'll be interesting because this game will be in Chicago. No, it'll be at home. Sorry,
That's a home, yeah.
no. Sorry. We got Chicago twice in 4 games. So we play them home on Friday, like you said, and then we go to Chicago to finish off the Challenge Cup. So luckily they're still not without Mallory Pugh. She's out for the season. But Chicago's been playing decent because the friggin' parity in the NWSL right now. I just wish the Dash could score because they could be taking NWSL could be taking notes off these girls. But they put the effort in. They get out there and try. I can't knock them for doing that. It's just I think just the tactics are a little bit off. Ooh, Xavier Valdez coming out about 30 yards out of the box. Ooh,
Good save.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's what happens when you press. They've been doing that all game, trying to get over the top. But we'll see. Let's see. We gotta. You get what? This game was Saturday. They don't play till Friday, so you got time to figure out what Lady wants to do before he loses players. I'm not sure if Alozie will be here this weekend or not, since Nigeria is not doing a camp for the World Cup. But I don't know. I think she's going to go anyways, because especially the way she got beat up in this game too at the same time. or this is our last game. Well, yeah, send her off to the World Cup, and then she can come back safe.
Oh yeah, and that for sure that's a good lift to just put on the Dash this week. We just have like a lot of expectations for them, so please just improve or win some games at
Please,
least. But
please.
at least,
Yeah.
but yeah. Now let's get into the Dynamo. It was a road game, so you know how this goes. It's We lost 1-0 against Seattle, and this one was interesting because we went 10 players down, and obviously that's when the home team gets to score, and it's it's upsetting only because I thought Dynamo were doing pretty decent in the first half, but unfortunately we was in that situation where Mikael had to get sent off, and I was interested to see what your opinion was on that because I felt like Mikael just put himself in that position and just I want to say it was a careless, but rather like I think it was a little bit harsh. Maybe you could say like it was something about like the referee just like giving that caution right away, and all like pretty much just two yells in the span of 2 minutes, which is kind of really uncommon. But I wanted to hear what you thought about that.
Super soft on the second one. Super soft. I mean, yeah, I might have blown the whistle for a foul. Definitely not no yellow card. Mikel didn't do anything to get us to. What did he do? Take one step over, and the guy ran into him, and he fell down. It's not like he did a body check. He didn't exert his shoulder into him. He didn't make no sudden violent movement or anything like that. The dude just ran into him, and then, like you said, he was just carded the foul before that, less than 2 minutes ago, and then you come right back. That was so harsh and so soft, and ridiculous call by the referee, and just of course, it didn't really change the game too much because Seattle was pushing and pressuring the whole game anyway. So it just gave him more confidence to get into to get into our box, and then it made Ben Olsen make some subs. So that it was definitely super soft. I don't think it was warranted to be a yellow card. And I went back and watched it just to see, like, yes, he moved over. Yes, he impeded the dude. The dude ran into him. He was trying to get around him. I don't think he did anything of like major intent. Maybe he stepped in front of him, but he didn't lean his shoulder in. He didn't use the extra force to make sure the dude hit the ground even harder. Harsh, annoying, soft, and here we are with another stupid red. And granted, we were already missing Hector Herrera because Seattle's food is nasty, or he drank a bad coffee or something, so he was sick. They still put him on the bench, but I don't know why you put him on the bench. If he's sick, you're not going to play, whatever. And then, of course, we're still missing Coco, who's out there balling out for Panama. But so a little bit of a different lineup. And of course, we're playing defensive. Seattle was limited as well with all their international duty players. But granted, I say limited, but I didn't go into context when I posted that on Twitter. Seattle has a great academy. They have great players that are coming up from the things, and obviously it showed in this game when the players getting a lot of talk. Were the two 19-year-olds and I think there was even a 17-year-old on the field, and I think the 19-year-old that was having the best of the game is the one that earned the red card against Mikel. So Seattle doing a great job for bringing their players up, giving them time, letting them play, and all that good stuff, and just friggin'. at least the effort was there from the boys playing defense again. But like you know how it goes on the road. We're on the road, our offensive tactics. Well, I wouldn't say our tactics. Our offensive execution is ridiculous. Just a offensive just execution just always missing. Aliyu had a bad game. Everybody had a bad game on the offensive side of the ball. Nobody stood out. I think after the first maybe 10 minutes is when Seattle just gained control of the game, and the chances didn't come anymore from the Dynamo. Besides the Arthur left-footed hit the post, which I thought was going in when he first hit it. Like, come on, of course, it's the friggin' post and dings off, man. But knowing pro refs, they would have called back and said Aliyu because he was offside was obstructing the keeper, even though it was clear he wasn't. So somehow they would have turned it back on us. You know how things go. We're the hated team right
Yep.
now. Whew. Jesus
No, yeah,
Christ.
and I felt like the biggest question heading into this game was the fact that Mikhail was starting as a fullback. Granted, we're not having a pretty good track record with fullbacks right now, only just a handful. But
Well,
obviously, Mikhail had to step up in this. Yeah,
before you go on, sorry to interrupt your point. Stairs was out with a knock, so most likely he would have got that start there instead of McHale. So that's why he was out. And then, of course, you don't give Brad Smith and Gasper to start, I guess, So they went with McHale, who has played there a couple times and been okay there, still looks out of position. But yeah, sorry to interrupt your comment. Just wanted to bring up the Stairs.
no, yeah, and that's a good point to bring up. Pretty much just for context, because like at this point, we have there had to be like a lot of adjustments over the course of the season. Obviously, the main one just being the fact that Titch Schmidt is no longer available, and he was our best player to start the season. And we're in now like halfway through the year, like in this position where we have like a couple players are questionable in that position. Those being Gasper and Brad Smith, based on what I've seen so far, and Mikhail not really being a fullback, but doing a decent job in certain games. And just the fact that I prefer Mikael just in the middle and not as a fullback. But this is unfortunately this is what we have to the hand that we had to deal with at this point in the season. But yeah, because a lot of people have been questioning if potentially we could bring in like some sort of like a fullback signing, even though we have like an issue with when it comes to like the cap space and all that. But mostly as a like an agent with MLS experience, but because it's really getting into that point where we have to uh, consider some options.
There is no left fullback coming this summer, guys. There's no left fullback. We don't go get Tate Schmidt, Brad Smith, Chase Gasper. I want to say they're you using Daniel Stairs over there. None of them are working out to our. I mean, yeah, granted Tate was working out and he was our biggest one of the four, but they're not going to go out and get another left friggin' back. So I think you're going to see this coming weekend against SKC at home with Mikel being red carded. We don't know if Stairs' knock is going to keep him out of the game at the same time, but it's hopefully because it's home, we start Brad Smith over Chase Gasper. If we're going to go that route with one of the two bald Mr. Cleans, I've heard Gasper getting picked over Smith in some instances, but I think I'll prefer Smith over Gasper just because I really don't like the way Gasper plays. Smith has a more attacking mentality. We are at home. SKC is tough, but I think we can take advantage of it. And Brad Smith will be the better fit right there. But Stairs could be back too at the same time. Escobar's still doing his thing on the right side, or shoot, put Escobar on the left. I'm not sure if you want to put him on the left, but you still have Dorsey over there too. I don't know. Dorsey played once in the left back in Mexico, and I guess that was enough of that. So they didn't try it no more. Who knows? Who knows? That wasn't fair back in preseason though, way before anything's even started. So you know, who knows what we can do there? It's up.
No, yeah,
It's up to Ben.
that one for us. Well, that was definitely a road game that we can just try to push past us. But yeah, our next game just being against Sporting Kansas City at home this Saturday. It's a home game, so we have a good hand for us, or at least we have the heat advantage. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting what the choices are in the back line.
Yeah, I mean, you see, Bartlow got the start this time, and Mikhail obviously to the left, and so Bartlow and the Danish boy. Well, I'm not even going to butcher his last name again. He's going to get the center back role this time, and then probably Escobar on the right, and the question mark will be, left back. Achi should be, unless he's like deathly sick, which I don't expect him to be. Will be back. Arthur will get that start right there, and then maybe Basi Quinones. uh, I thought this would have been a perfect game for Thor to start over Liu, being in Seattle, and was expecting that. Then I was kind of surprised he wasn't. And then Ben waited. Granted, the red card may have came into play for that, but he waited like too long, like to put Thor in, and especially when Liu wasn't doing nothing. Like change it up, bro. Like change it up. And then to finish the game, Thor, when it went over, I thought he was going to chest it down to his foot and play the ball. I think he just didn't expect it, and he just thought header, and he tried to, and it just kind of glanced off the top of his hair right there. That was barely there. So yeah, it's his time, but give it to him.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're at home. Aliyu still hasn't scored, so I don't know. Maybe Thor does get a start. I think Aliyu is still the better option, so probably Aliyu will get the start. But I think Ben, you got to make a quicker decision. If Aliyu's not playing well during the game and things are not working out, Aliyu's a different striker than Thor. Change it up. Put in Thor a little earlier, at least 30 minutes. Give him the 30 minutes to work and do something because it'll work. I think at one point, Thor went from the right back to the striker to the left back, looped back down to where the cam was, and ended up back on the uh, where the right back was. Like so, I was like, he's working for the ball, and he actually circled one of our own players that was standing. I think it was Aliyu that was standing there. Actually, circled him while he was chasing the ball around. So you know, uh, something worth it, Russ. You just need to check. And then, as we're watching Dose right here in the 85th minute, Dose have got a free kick about 20 yards outside the box. It looks like Diego Gonzalez is on top of the ball. And Papa, here we go. We're just going to go and say it since we're right here at this moment. Papa Indo, as the announcer likes to call him, is standing
No,
on top.
that's horrible.
Yeah, bro. Like, come on, bro. You gotta know who. Check your. Granted, you're a West Coast announcer, but check it. And then Doyle acting like he's going to take a left-footed shot, which is crazy. But let's see it. This was perfect for. Oh, too much.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then I don't know what Gonzalez is thinking here. He's like, bro, you weren't supposed to take that. Look at him. He puts his hands up immediately, like that was mine. What happened? And Doe didn't even look at him. I'm not going to say that name no more. But anyways, back to Dynamo. Back to Dynamo. So I don't even remember where we were at with the Dynamo. That almost got me.
No, talking about the Kansas City game, but the other or the lineup at least.
Oh yeah. Thor and Aliyu. So what are we going to do? Because there's not many options that Ben can do. Franco's not looking good at all. Coming off the bench, so you don't want to start him unless you're just going to do something different. And then who else is there? Brooklyn Reigns ain't even getting on the bench no more. He's playing on the first team. Whew. Brooklyn Reigns is on a yellow, and he just found a guy. And I thought the other one was coming out, but it's okay. But getting lucky, bro. So, but Brooklyn Reigns is playing on those. I don't know, man. We're back at home. We've only got one loss at home. As a matter of fact, I think next to New England, we have the best record at home in the entire league. New England has not lost at home. They're 10-0-1, one tie, 10 wins. And then, not New England, Cincinnati. New England has 7 wins, one loss, and 3 ties. So they have more points at home. But as far as like percentage points, we've got the best record in the league next to Cincinnati. So we're expected to win this weekend. It is a rivalry game, and KC likes to play as well. So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. But obviously, I'll be there. I'll be there loud and proud. And I just hope that we score some
Good
goals.
block, good block.
Score some goals.
No, yeah, and with that, the Dynamo 2 game is winding down, so I feel like there's a good opportunity to do the league's review. or like the league roundup.
Yeah, bro. So of course, let's start with where did I take it at? In NWSL, and obviously with the NWSL going on, we lost points. We didn't fall in the standings, but we're sitting still in seventh. We have 18 points, which is crazy. Here, I'm going to go from top to the bottom. North Carolina jumped into first with that victory because Portland lost, OLL Reign lost, Washington lost. So North Carolina jumped to first with 26 points, Portland with 25, Reign with 24, Washington with 23, Gotham with 22, and then there's a point difference here. San Diego, who's lost again, I think that's three in a row now, with 20 points. So Houston had the opportunity to jump in the standings or prevent somebody from taking overall first place, but we're sitting in friggin' seventh place, and it's just annoying, bro. Annoying that we can't score to get those points. But what was I looking at? How Louisville? Sorry, I'm trying to find the score because I think I rolled past it too far. Yeah, KC beat Portland on the road. Washington got their butts kicked by Orlando at home. Chicago with a win over San Diego, and then Louisville got the tie with Reign, so that's why they got a point closer to us instead of because if they would have won that game, they would have been tied for seventh. So we're letting the bottom feeders catch up now. So Houston, you got to figure it out. You're out of the playoffs, and you're not scoring goals. You've got the best tied for now, the best defense with North Carolina, and you've got the worst offense. So something's got to give there, bro. Something's got to give. But like you said,
No, yeah, and the one thing I wanted to mention is just that uh, the it's still the parity is still kind of strong, even though like they're still pretty close on points. The Dash have like 18, and like all the other teams have like a difference of like 2 points or 4 points. I feel like the gap is widening at this point, and they need their results now because it's gonna be too late.
yeah, dude. 3 points here, 3 points the next game. Well, obviously there's only one game left, so we need to get a win before the friggin' Challenge Cup break. Down to the extra 3 minutes extra time for Dose. But we're playing Chicago next, who is in dead last, 13 points, with LA, who is on a friggin' 3 game winning streak now as well, with uh with 14 points sitting in 11th place. So something's got to change right there as well. So you don't know, but jumping into MLS. Obviously, Austin went to Miami, and they ended up tying this game. And I think they deserved that because Austin FC posted on their little TikTok. They took the when Argentina lost to Saudi, and that dude was interviewing the Saudis outside the game. And where'd Messi? What are Messi? Where are Messi? Where are Messi's? They kind of did a TikTok putting those two together with Austin playing in like at the top of the screen and then they go in and they tie Miami 1-1. So good for them. But then friggin' Dallas with a limited Dallas with obviously Jesus Ferreira going and getting 6 goals in the last 2 games for the U.S. team. Obviously with their big win today, that they went and beat friggin' LAFC 2-0. So LAFC is still having problems, but Dallas got the win. And then Sporting coming into Houston this weekend. Granted, this game was at home, but they beat Vancouver 3-0. So they're coming in on a high. They're coming in confident. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then, like I said, Cincinnati's running away with the East. So, there's no reason to even talk about the East right now. I mean, they're only 6 points above Nashville. Nashville's not too far behind. But with the Western, St. Louis is in first. LA, Seattle jumped up to third. That's one spot up. And then we fell down to seventh. Granted, we still have a game in hand. We're 1 point behind San Jose, 2 behind Dallas, and 3 behind Salt Lake, who we all have game in hands with, except for Dallas. And then Austin is right behind us, a game behind in eighth. Vancouver in ninth with 25. So we got to get this win. We can't let Kansas City draw. Get a draw this weekend. We got to come out with some friggin' points, bro. Got to come out. Gotta.
Oh yeah, and you just mentioned it. Like we do have like our difference with Russell Lake at fourth place is just 3 points, and the it's still pretty even, especially where we want to be in the standings, and we're in a pretty good position just based on the positive results we had at home. But without those road results, we're gonna go down pretty bad. And that game against Seattle was pretty bad to like at least stay on fourth place. But yeah, they just need to get those 3 points against Kansas City and just work on those results on the road because it's really depressing.
Super duper depression, bro. Super duper depression. And I mean, what do we have coming up with after KC? Obviously, is after KC, we're back home. We go back to midweek. So no midweek game this week. We got the game on Saturday with SKC, but then we go back to midweeks where Minnesota comes in on Wednesday, and then we travel to Colorado to finish off that week. And then it's Leagues Cup. So we got 2 games left before we get the break. So it'd be nice in these next 3 games because Colorado's very beatable, very beatable. Granted, they're playing at home and we suck on the road. So we can get 9 points, bro. We can get 9 points, but I think it's going to be a must to. Man, I don't know because Minnesota's still tough, but we can beat them at home, and then we only lost to them 1-0 on the road. So let's get to 6, and then hope for a draw in Colorado, just because you don't know what to get on the road, and let's man, yeah, we'll move on because as you see in the background of the Foxtrot TV, we get another 1-0 loss on the weekend, and Dos is lost right now. Sucks. So 3-1 this
Yeah.
weekend. Woohoo! It's on the losing side.
Oh yeah,
Fuck.
that's I hate it here, unfortunately, but yeah, I guess we can talk about Dynamo too now.
Yeah, I mean there's still some things to talk about. There's still some things to talk about. Before we even get into the game, the Lampman got the start next to Maples as at the left center back, or sorry, the right center back, and Lampman is the 17-year-old who was awarded MLS Next Pro All Star. So he'll be at the All Star game for the MLS Next Pro coming up here in 2 weeks. So big shout out to him. He's getting his second start of the season. When I saw him, what he looked like, because this is my first time actually seeing him, what he looked like, I don't remember him the first time he played, or maybe he came in late, or maybe it was one of those games where we had to watch the dash and couldn't watch those. But I said, "Will the next Slim Shady please stand up?" And I guess he did. Uh,
Yeah.
Either he's super blonde or he's super bleached. So I don't know which one he is. But
Oh no, yeah. Also, shout out to Xavier Valdez because he also got called up to the skills challenge, but specifically the goalie wars. So that's gonna be exciting. Goalie wars they're bringing back for like the first time since they've done
oh
it during
one,
the MLS All Star Weekend
oh one.
a while back, and yeah, it's pretty much just like goalies like trying to score on each other like in a pretty small field, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, they gave during halftime. They gave us a little tidbit of it and just kind of brought it back. It was 2001 the last time they did it, and Jesus Christ, I can't now. I don't even remember the dude's name, but the keeper that they kept highlighting in that highlight was just a big boy. I don't know how he ever got off his feet based on them saves he made, but obviously he, you know, he that's why he was a good keeper and expected to be in goalie wars. So it's going to be the goalie wars are 4 of the up and coming elite keepers that are playing in the next pro right now, and basically you call them futures. So Xavier Valdez is going to be one of those, and then of course Austin with Lost got theirs. So I'm expecting that to be the first matchup for the skills challenge is those two going up against each other, which will be fun. So go get him, Xavier. And also to bring up Xavier Valdez, Asher Mendelson. Actually, when he sees something he needs to hop on Twitter, he hops on Twitter and he says something or he clears something up. And the reason he hopped on Twitter was because Brooklyn Reigns comment that was made, but we'll come back to that in a minute. But he also had to take the second to mention, there's Xavier Valdez and his bright future, and as Houston fans, I think we're expecting him to really kind of start taking a shine for the first team next year. I don't know if Steve Clark is going to be able to come back next year or not. Keep him on the team and let him coach Xavier Valdez. You'll still have Tarble backing up. Maybe Clark can play the Open Cup games or just give Valdez some. Maybe they can just split time. I don't know. I think it's going to be time for Valdez to get in there and get his opportunity. And then the Brooklyn Range. Somebody. I'm not going to say your name, Tony. No, just kidding. So, so I mentioned, so I forget what the exact context of the tweet was, but it was, Asher Middleton came out and said, the Reigns is in the plans. He's in the future. I think because he's not getting minutes with the first team right now, he's been getting minutes with the second team. Was the kind of the reason it was brought up. And then we don't want to lose our homegrowns. And so Asher came out and corrected that, and then a couple hours later, directly behind Asher, Mama Reigns is what I like to call her. Mama Reigns came out and said Brooklyn Reigns is very happy with the team, and what other place to be than sitting behind Hector Herrera, Arthur, the midfield that Coco, the midfield that you have, and learning from those guys. It just makes sense. So I'm glad that they both actually came out and said something, and just to clear the airwaves that Brooklyn Reigns is not looking to go anywhere, or at least that's what they're saying. He's happy here. He's happy with what's happening with him, how he's being used, and he understands. He's got talent, superstars in front of him per se. Some Panamanian Coco Carrasquilla, Hector Herrera. Of course, you're not going to challenge for his spot, and then Arthur, who's just been probably the best player on the team this year, maybe next to Hector, but there can be an argument there. They're just both tremendous pieces there, so good for them. But reason we brought them up is because they're both playing for Dosh right now, which is, and Brooklyn Reigns has been huge. At least he's getting his minutes and getting his time, so he's staying fresh and he can stay in form. But as far as the game went, I'll let you go.
Upsetting, really. They got their opportunities in the first half, and then Tacoma gets the first goal, and like it's pretty even from there. I wasn't able to say much from the second half only because like the game was happening behind me, but yeah, I can only guess what happened. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean, the second half felt the same as the first half. So the first 15, 20 minutes, we were pressing really high, and we were executing very well. So Seattle was having problem, not Seattle, Tacoma, which is Seattle's second team, was having trouble really kind of getting out. But then they kind of started to find a way to counter to where they were getting to our box, and it was creating some fouls and some early yellow cards against Dynamo. And then, like you said, that goal wasn't a very good shot, wasn't a very hard shot, but it was a shot that went straight to the corner. And Xavier Valdez was a little bit off his line. I think he saw it late, so whenever he dove, he missed, and he couldn't get it. Then after that, like you said, the game kind of went even. Dynamo kept the press on, kept trying to push forward. Just nothing was coming. Nothing was coming near the goal, and the shots that I would say that was even coming close to the goal was probably like the Harry Kane penalty kick. That's still, I don't think it's landed yet from the World Cup. so so it was one of those freaking games, man, where you look like the better team, but Tacoma did their job, and their defense was pretty friggin' solid, and they won the game. They won the friggin' game, and Dynamo Dos lost, which is annoying because it completes the trifecta for the weekend. And just can we get wins?
that's all I ask. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's that hustle town, man. It's just like, oh, we're trying to get out of this turmoil. Dash was so hopeful to start the season. Dynamo, we didn't, weren't expecting much, but Dos, after the season they were having last year, we were expecting a lot more from them, and we're not getting nothing out of. I mean, I think Dynamo's probably having the better year out of all three. It's kind of crazy to say that, really, when you think about it, especially the 10 years that we've had with Dynamo. So it's just it's weird, but this is what the universe is like. Just ask Spider-Man.
no, like it's part of our struggle, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And yeah, I guess we can close with the league tribute for Dynamo 2 since we've already done the a Dynamo and Dash and yeah, like it's at least not looking good, especially like coming out of pretty poor performances lately.
Yeah, man. So before I even go into the standings, because this isn't going to help our standings, so Austin played Real Monarch and it tied 0-0, but won on penalty kicks 4-3. So they ended up with the 2 points, and they're sitting in second place in the standings. SKC went and whooped Vancouver 7-1 today, so they getting the 3 points easy. And then North Texas tied LAFC 2-2, but won on penalty kicks 8-7. So nobody wanted to win that game, and it almost took them forever to figure it out. But after the fact, the standings, the way they are, is, just real quick in the Eastern Conference, the Crown FC or whatever they want to Crown Legacy or whatever they want to call themselves
Crown Legacy.
from
Yeah.
Charlotte, yeah, from Charlotte, they're the ones leading by 6 points in the East with New England, second team with 32 points. So that's first and second. Miami's sitting in last in the MLS and in Next Pro. So, they're bringing Messi in, they're Busquets in, and they said they're talking about trying to get Di Maria, but I think he's going to Saudi, and I think they're trying to get uh, the protein biter in Suarez. Like, I guess the DP era is going to be over here pretty soon, is what it's looking like. But as far as the standings go, Western Conference, Colorado's still up top in first place, but they're 5 points ahead of Austin. Which Austin losing that point, even though they still got two for the tie, was it kind of hurt them trying to catch Colorado. But all you got to do is be in the top four to make the playoffs. So Vancouver with third with 29, Tacoma with their win jumped up to fourth with 29, SKC 26, and then here we are sitting in ninth place, ninth friggin' place, bro. Like 22 points. It's friggin' ridiculous, man. It's just absurd, man. Absurd what's going on with us, bro. It's just so annoying. And we have a goal differential of 8, 26 scored and 28 against. So how the heck, how
Yeah.
how the heck we're
I was
losing?
looking at that.
Yeah,
I was looking at that. I thought it was funny, but then the other one was just like both LA teams are in last place. Like, I think that was funny. But
dude,
yeah,
for real. Yeah, oh yeah, LA Galaxy and LAFC both sitting in 13th and 14th, and that's the LA Galaxy not doing well in the MLS either. So they're getting crapped on, but North Texas sitting in 10th behind us, that is sitting in ninth, but. Bro, and then I hate seeing our road record better than our home record, especially only losing once last year at home. I think it was the playoff or not. No, we ended up tying one, didn't lose one. We lost at Tacoma in the playoffs. So Tacoma's got our friggin' number, bro. I think they've won 5 in a row now against us, and 3 last year and now 2 this year. So I hope we get him again this year, so we can maybe get a win, or maybe I just don't hope we don't have him on the schedule again, so we don't have to play him again because it's getting ridiculous, man. Can we find some friggin' wins? But to Kenny Bunny's credit, the tactics are there, the opportunities are there. We're just not hitting the friggin' target. Like I said, some of the shots are trying to find. They're out there searching for Harry Kane's penalty kick. But otherwise, I don't know what you can do to make adjustments with Dokes because they look like the better team for the most part in some of the games they're playing, and I don't know what to. I don't know what you can do. I don't know if you have an opinion on that, but I think Kenny Bunny's doing a great job. Just I don't know, man. I don't know because we're there. We're in the box. We're getting opportunities.
I mean, I trust Kenny Bundy.
Yeah,
I've seen it last year, and he can get us out of a jam like this one, for example. And yeah, like, they're just going through a difficult time, especially trying to still trying to figure a couple things out because they have the players, like most of them from last year, but yeah, it's just disappointing, or rather, I just try to compare from a pretty insane year that they had last season, and it's up to like match, and like yeah, even though they still have like a few games to go, there's still like a halfway, this is like a half a season ahead to turn things around, but it's not looking good on the surface level, but they can definitely work things out to at least solve it because it's sad just coming out of last year.
yeah. I mean, you can see they're not playing to their potential, and that's probably what the biggest problem is that we have right now. They look good and they're actually playing better than teams and not winning. It's not like the Dash who they're defending better, but they're just not getting those scoring opportunities. And the Dynamo can't make up their mind on the road, and they want to win at home, but they want to lose on the road. So they're like bipolar, if you want to call it that. So uh, it's just those need to figure it out. Now, granted, in the end, you don't really care if they win or lose. It's about the development of the players and trying to get them up to the first team. But you still like to see a win at the same time, and there's still some meaning into those wins. It's got to be disheartening when you're losing like this and losing games like that, because now we're on a 3-game losing streak with Dose, and 2 of those being at home. And where do we go next? Freaking at Austin on Friday. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna have a lot of fans at this friggin' game. I haven't heard of anybody else that's going to be traveling from Houston to the game, because uh, this time, unfortunately, the Dash play on Friday night and Dose play on Friday night. So, me being at Austin, I'm going to choose to go to Dose. So, at least they have one Dynamo fan there. Excuse me, I'm sorry. There'll be uh, the Maples family will be there for sure. I expect Webb if. I don't know if Webb goes to the Dash games like he does the Dynamo games, but I expect Webb to maybe go to the Dash game. Webb, when you hear this, maybe you could just answer us on Twitter or tell us where you're going to be. I look forward to you if you are going to show up to the Dose game. But I'll be there. I'll be loud enough, and I'll root for the boys, and hopefully we can steal a win and get out of there, and then I'll enjoy it even more. No, but I'll be there by myself. It looks like, for the most part.
No, yeah, and I was supposed to go, but unfortunately, I had like some personal commitments like on that Friday night, so I was sad because if it was on a Saturday, I would have definitely gone. But yeah, like it's unfortunate.
Yeah, unlucky, or at least on Sunday or whatever. But they decided to do it Friday this time. It'll be an 8 o'clock game for those who are going to it or attending it, or in town or close by or whatever. So, I'll be there, sitting on the hard ass cement. I'm not even gonna call them seats. We'll just call them blocks, or whatever the heck it is. Uh, for what they put in that nice little facility, they could at least put some seats in or some benches in or whatever. But it is what it is. So let's just get a Windows. I'll be there rooting for you, Mr. Bundy. I'll be there rooting for you with H's up all the time. Loud and proud.
Yes, sir, and just wins for any of the 3 teams, honestly, because I just they should just get win from here. Like I know it's hard, but come on.
Dude, please, man, please. Now you got Dash at 7:30, so before that Austin game starts, I'll have my phone out. I've got Paramount on my phone, so I'll be watching the Dash game for 30 minutes, and maybe what I'll do is, unless I find somebody to sit with, I don't know why I wouldn't be able to hear it. I just say put the earbud in my ear and just kind of listen to the Dash game in my ear while watching the Dose game right there. But I'll be paying attention to the Dash game as much as possible while I'm at the Dose game. Obviously, I'll watch the replay of the Dash game later, win, lose, or draw. And then I'll be traveling to Houston on Saturday for the Kansas City game. So maybe we can come out with some wins this weekend. It'll be a happy Sunday for us, right?
I hope so. Yeah, because I hate
Dude,
this mood right now.
for real.
But yeah,
I mean, we
yeah,
we enjoy recording and doing these shows, but I definitely wasn't looking forward to it, right?
yeah. But still, we still got to root for our team, so just do our best. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. And thank you guys again for joining us in this pretty difficult weekend. And yeah, guys, not much to say here, but to stay noodle.
And H is up.